And here we go, a little bit late, but not terribly so. Day is incredibly hot today, so, well, for this area this time of year. So there may be some additional background noise since I can't fully close out the room, but hopefully noise filter will do its job. And where is that? And here we go. Get Stars Reach back up and run in. Audio should be good. Okay. All right, I can hear it from over on there, and I've just got that turned down pretty low. So, without wasting any more time than I already have, let's go ahead and jump back in. So, this is kind of a modified idea of the live review from what was going on before, since normally that would only be for one time. I just come in, first look, and then that's that. But it has been pointed out to me that there's still a lot more coming up in the Stars Reach to deal with, such as this little gateway here didn't work at all last time due to an error that will occasionally pop up. So, assuming that error doesn't happen, there are like 3 more worlds in the deep space section to take a look at. And of course, there's filling out the rest of the kit, because I finally figured out how to make plastic at the end of last time. I do not think I actually had made carbon. Yeah, I do not think I had actually made the tree working tool. So I'll have to do, I want to finish that off, want to I want to see if I can get the drones going on here, because I remember that looked kind of interesting to play with. And yeah, then there's just generally more exploring to do on all of this. And it feels like my... Yep. They reset my invert camera. Why? Much better. Alright. It's here. It was giving me a problem before. Let's just grab this. Or 64. There is clearly a lot more of these to do on this planet, but I think it is time to leave the sandbox and head out into the greater sandbox. There we go. Collision bones on that is a little bit odd. And space. Oh, automatic spacesuit. Nice. Okay, looks like they're going for an projected energy field for a bit on there, so you... I guess, hair sticking out on the side. Horn sticking through it. Tail does not appear to be specially covered. Okay. Propulsion. Okay. Magnetic boots. Found on the rock, but not... Which is semi-reasonable, because if you're in contact with something, you'll be able to get the sound going through. Well, it should probably have a filter effect on it. But long-term thing to deal with. Check. Ooh. You have momentum. Diamond chunks. Ah. Let's go see if I can find some here. I do like the atmospheric music. There's nothing wrong with grabbing a few diamonds when you can, right? There we go. Oh, couple of notes left. Don't want to miss those out. Well, so I learned how to make antigravium. Oh, and one of the things that we'd left off, or I'd left off on before, at the end of last time, was that I was concerned that the fact that you could go convert pretty much anything into anything else before you mine would mean that there's no point in exploring. Talked with Chaos a bit on that, and he did share that apparently in some of the materials that aren't available in-game directly, like fireside chats, just chatter on the Discord, stuff like that, which if you're interested in the game and you aren't already, you should go check those out. Then there's a plan on it where, when I was before, how, okay, everything stacks up over into the one column on it. Like, once it gets refined, then it's all the very same materials. Like, all the very same stats, no matter where it came from, no matter the path you took to get there. That's not intended to be the case. So what's supposed to happen is going to be that, okay, you find a chunk from here. Like, so you mine a chunk from this place on this world. That goes into its own stack. Then you refine it. Those products go into their own stack. And then each stack then will have its own set of stats to pass on down the line to the next crafting element, I suppose you could call it. So what that could mean then is, okay, anything that you've terraformed one into another, it just gets the most basic level stats, so it'll be functional, but you won't have any sorts of bonuses, maybe even have penalties depending on how they scale it, who knows. But you harvest stuff from out in the world, you might find a particularly good vein. So, I mean, yeah, chemically speaking, iron is iron is iron. Practically speaking in this, maybe this one type of iron is just a little more durable, a little more ductile. It's still fundamentally the same, but something about how it formed, like the trace elements that go into it that you can't get rid of through refining, they change the performance slightly. So, that means different stats. It may also mean that you can blend two different types into the same slot when you go into crafting. So, like, instead of all, like just this one here, instead of all 20 pieces being from the same stack, you can mix them, and then maybe you can average out these stats so you can get something tuned just how you want, as long as you've gone and found the precise materials that you need. So that completely removes any complaints I might have about how exploration could become useless just because of the terraforming system. Instead, it basically makes it exploration essential if you want any chance of getting best in slot. Or even if you just, maybe you want to get this one specific color for the final product. Well, you have to get this specific blend of materials, even if it's just on the cosmetic side of things. So there's a lot to see of where it might go over on that. And I am glad that they thought enough about it that they've already addressed that issue. It's not visible on here because that's obviously going to be a good chunk of work to deal with. You have to worry about balancing it, make sure accessibility, handle anti-griefing, all that stuff. Bouncing around. But yeah, just a brief update over on that side of things, so we can just leave the record clear on the matter. So if anyone else did have similar concerns, you don't have to have them. So this is space. Asteroid field. I mean, yeah, obviously, realistically speaking, not realistic. But as far as sci-fi standard tropes go, which is kind of more important as far as enjoyability goes, especially when dealing with a game like this, it's fine. Fine. If you just have a... Oh, I think that might actually be the one I came in from. Anyway, if you had like just one of these rocks per play space, yeah, that would probably be a bit more realistic as far as distribution goes. Not terribly interesting. Kind of why bother on it there? And we are expecting to have actual spaceships. So then, okay, go from different field in each system. That's all going to be different on here. But that's a little out of scope for what they've got going so far. Also supposed to be giant space monsters. For now, I mean, luckily for me, this is kind of peaceful. So we'll see what happens. Give me a sec here. All right. Gotta get a little more comfortable sometimes. Something's going on over here. Ah. Smaller space monsters. So, what I said about peace, never mind that. There, in the dark depths of space, there is only war. Okay, Mara. So, from the name, I would expect this to be kind of, temperate or standard. Let's see what happens. And we have... Yep. Grass, trees, gains of builds. Oh, and this is a known thing, that the actual appearance that you pick does get randomized as part of the testing procedure on it there, just to make sure that pretty much everything gets at least some eyes on it. So if anything jumps out as being weird, it actually gets handled. What lights? Let's see here. Gauntlets. Actually, a pretty nice look. Don't know about the bright yellow for the shirt, but otherwise not bad. There we go. Made it down without dying. Always important when visiting a new place. Someone is doing a thing here. I'm going to go take a look. Now, they haven't put down any claim markers, at least nothing appears like it. So in theory, someone could go and just chop out the base of this, but that would not be cool. And there is the option. I mean, you gotta have creation and destruction to have both be meaningful, really. Generally speaking, I kind of prefer the creation side, all told. And yeah, every now and then you just gotta break stuff. But it's always more fulfilling to actually build something and then see people enjoying what you've built. And that's kind of the view behind all content creators of one form or another, I figure. Oh, crap. Okay. I should have died from that. Don't know why I didn't. But I will take it for now. Oh, someone's got a house set up over this way. Now imagine that on the planet that's actually nicer, people are actually setting up long-term habitation rather than just going through and booking out as soon as they can. And more of kind of an observation post in the house or temple. I think that was a player. I mean, yep. I was just about to mention it being calm. Someone has guard bugs. Yay. Whoops. Rather vicious ones, really. It didn't really get any hit effects off of that. Again, I imagine something that's probably going to need to be worked on, but... Okay, so there's a boss over... Well, I remember it was over here. Now, let's see how close I have to be for that marker to actually show up. Because remember last time when I was dying, grave marker did not pop up until I was within a certain range. Granted, I don't think I actually had anything to pick up here. Oh, little deer. Oh, there it is. Finally showed in. Those are some hops. Okay. So it showed up briefly, and now it's gone. Be on the other side, because that's where I fell down. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the marker... There's something weird going on with that. Okay, and yep, still hang on, let the stamina regenerate rather than using it all up this time. And the critters are still there. I think it's angry. Luckily, they can't climb. Now let's go down on the opposite side so I don't have to deal with them again. And safe. Huzzah. Okay, someone set a camp over here. Lots of tiny little campsites. It is pretty nice. Owl deer. Hey, glad to see you again here. Checked in, wish me well in the stream. Thanks for coming by. And yeah, and signs are good that we should be good for tomorrow. Man, I've got that encounter that I've been wanting to happen for so long now. And I'm planning to have fun with it. Hopefully you three will. I don't even know what I'm searching for right now. But, you know, it's a game when you can just kind of zone out and run away very quickly from angry bugs. Okay, so now they're dropping power-ups. Because we didn't really get to see a whole lot of those over on the previous world. Of course, I also hadn't really been focusing on fighting a great deal either. Aside from the giant mini boss rush that got spawned in on us. A purple thing. Oh, okay. Someone's mining tool got locked on while something weird was happening. You can really build up some speed. I'm wondering how that's going to wind up going. See, this is what happens when you don't turn around. You completely miss the outpost that's been built behind you as you're busy off looking at this tower. Oh. I've just got a gizmo active here. That... I guess they're in the middle of building, but that should not be visible to me. Yeah. Okay, this I gotta report. Okay. And yeah, I know Chaos has gone over how to do a full, proper bug report, nicely formatted, all that. Yes, I've done the same thing. I've did that professionally. I'm gonna shortcut it a little bit on here. Let's still have the important things. Because what looks like it actually matters is I got it in the screenshot. Give him a decent description. And when I'm calling it a gizmo, that's basically the standard term for these 3-axis arrows on it there. Because when you got translation, that's what they look like. It's translation's movement. You got rotation, you'll generally see them as arcs. Scale, the standard is you've got these little bars with boxes at the end. And then you click and drag the boxes to shrink in or grow it. And then, of course, on the more advanced ones, you can click on the little corners at the junctions in there. And then that will let you go on that entire plane. It's like if something was aligned to this wall here, you'd click, like you had an arrow go up to the side, you have a little box if you clicked right here, and then it would stay perfectly parallel to that wall as you're working with it. Which is very, very handy when you're trying to get things just right. I wonder, can I? Yeah, no. Okay. You're at distance and be visible through walls and terrain. Yeah. Yeah, so it's, again, it doesn't have the, okay, here's what's wrong, here's what's expected, here's the repro steps. Do better than this one if you're actually going to try writing bugs professionally. But as far as a layperson bug goes, I think that's decent. It's not just, hey, this is broke, and then never explain what this is, don't even have an appropriate screenshot. There are some very badly written bugs that I'm sure these devs have seen, that I know I've seen, that Chaos has seen. They tend to be rather less than helpful unless you're just trying to go and see if something's still happening. And at least if they name it correctly or reference a pre-existing one, then there's some value. I think took a flying leap at me, jeez. Ha. Again, sassy ass servitors. Someone's definitely still fighting over there. Oh, that finally despawned it. Or no, it's still there. Just chasing that one other poor person all over the train, lighting everything on fire. Oh, hey, guys, attention. Fire beetle turns stuff to lava. Good to know. Yeah, I think I handle on that now. And one sec, borrow their little camp here real fast. Okay, wait. Tracking. Get over to here. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, Vignon's. Well, don't know if it's Vignon losing the track or what's going on here. May just be the range of motion. It could always be the fact that it's going through the RTX program here to actually interpret from camera to model rather than going from something else. Behaving itself for now. See how long it lasts. Okay, and we have done a bit of a loop over there. And more water. Still no real water effects. And I can no longer crouch. Okay, alt-tabbing apparently breaks chunks of the UI. That's something to look out for. And it still picks up the combat roll. That's okay. Let's take a look over at this place. Maybe check out that gap over in the mountain there. Okay. All right, I see. So someone basically built a little underwater mining platform. So they do still see it as its own object. Yeah, so what some guys will do with water is just say, okay, below this height, then, or like at this height, apply this plane or this mesh, and then that's where all the water effects happen. But this one, it is effectively, each chunk of water is effectively its own mesh then that applies over an area. So you can basically pull it out, or its own volume, I should say. And so it can. So what I should be able to do, for example, is fall through the world and start skating. I guess that's a seasonal thing that, because yeah, they did mention seasons were something that they were planning on happening. So I guess we just hit winter. Well, yeah, I mean, it does actually come in about that fast over near where I live, so. Perfectly bright one moment, hail the next. And then, about 10 minutes later, perfectly bright again. Okay, so let's take a look here now. Getting around. Okay, so it applies the same sort of momentum that space does. Canceling that momentum is an issue. When dealing with player-built objects. Back on terrain, it resets properly. Good to know. I think it's just a result of it being mined out rather than going through like that, but it does look neat. Huh? Nice shadow effect. some pretty good lighting there. Okay. So, that's Grass World. We had Grass World, we had Sand World. Not very large play spaces as of yet on here. But again, they're keeping it to lower levels, probably for testing purposes. Cut down on some of the strain on the hardware. I do recall hearing Chaos saying that, yeah, they plan to vastly expand these out. I think it's supposed to be something like 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer right now. I think each one's supposed to go up to 4x4 for what they're planning for, like, kind of the initial phase for release. I do hope, like in some others, that they'll eventually be able to just go full world on there. It depends on how far they can push their tech for it. Let's go beat 2 more. And then once I've poked around all of those, then I'll see the mother shark. Okay. And that would appear to be it. So let's not go that way just yet. Okay, so each world's got a different color beacon. Yeah, so desert. So, given this, I am going to guess that this is going to be an ice world. Kind of hope to be wrong on it, though. It's just because I really don't like ice worlds. And hit that, like, going through Star Wars Old Republic. Of course, being a Star Wars game, they send you through to Hoth. Oh, nice. Much better. Kind of more... very cliffy. So, still temperate, but... watch your step. Dangerous, but interesting. He's just floating out here, or did someone build a platform? Nope, that is foliage that has apparently been terraformed out from under, but not deleted. I think I'm going to want the glider before I go exploring this place much more. But you can see you've got the actual ore veins in the side there. Like, take it with Minecraft, where that's kind of what you'd see looking down the side of one of the canyons it generates. Is, yeah, all the ore comes in, and then Terrain Gen just takes this giant knife and carves right through it. Similar effect here. Oh. Well. Yeah, that was a misstep. Okay, now... so, as long as you're not within a certain range of it... Alright. Okay, I don't know what's triggering that then. Maybe the direction that I'm looking just in general? Let's see. Okay, no, what's happening is this over here. So this is the event marker for the roach hive. I've got my marker here. If I turn so that the event marker's just gone, basically when the event marker's there, basically takes the graphic off from the grave marker. But it will only show it when you're looking within a certain degree rather than having it just go zooping all over the edges of the screen. So that's some of what's going on with it. Anyway, let's go. I wanted to make what those is inventory. Actually, no, I believe it. I need to go under the ranger skills first. Grav mesh. Okay, I already have. Not sure if that one started unlocked or if I had unlocked that one myself. I'll have to check that out later. Ah, right. I need to be in Camp Homestead to actually use this stuff. Luckily, it's right here. Those out of the way. Mineralogy. And something else that is not visible on here, but really should have been, is that each of these sustain skills increases your scan range. So if you don't want to have to look around piece by piece, you got to turn it all the way up. Not described in here. Had to get that from Chaos after the stream. We have a shield here. That's just basic reflection. Okay, there's the fortress shield. I remember they're saying that there were a couple other shield types as well. Okay, I've got the drones all unlocked, so I don't need XP for that. Okay, and I'll deal with that later. Go on to a different world. And does not update the maximum number of creatures. So I think they did recently do a thing where the... Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, okay, as I did say, it's a non-assist review on it here. But, yeah, that's documentation. Definitely something that needs to be made a bit better. I think I brought that up over with the last survey I did afterwards. So they didn't really make any changes. I wonder if I need to bring that up again. Oh, let's make sure it captures the UI here. Oh, yeah. And that part of the UI doesn't want to work. Create report. There we go. All right. Yeah, they're working on it. Good to see that. Good to see that in Chaos. And yes, like I said earlier, these are not going to be the quality of bug reports that we're used to writing from before. Well, it's just because I don't want to take the time on stream to do that. It would be a good tutorial, but I think you've already done that. So if anyone wants to go see a tutorial on how to properly write bugs, go over to Controlled Chaos's channel over on YouTube. And, just watch all the videos. You'll find it eventually. Yeah, okay, I'm not changing. Yeah, I didn't think you'd argue with that. How do I want to word this? I know what I'm trying to say, but sometimes wordage gets a little difficult. Alright, so we will go with... That... Other... Or... And possible suggestion. Yeah. A little bit clunky, but good enough for now. Anyway, I was actually going to look at skills. Yeah, no, I've done all the skills. Setting up. So I need to make a grav mesh. And drones. So, inventory, recipes. Given this world, I think I want the grav mesh first. Ah, need anti-gravium. Now, I had a recipe for that. Anti-gravium. Oh, we need antimatter and magnetite. Don't have any magnetite at the moment. Nor antimatter. Okay, so that may be something that could be easier to find when it actually drops in the rare events rather than trying to make the whole thing. Okay, so it goes to magnesium. But no, I actually need... Okay, I can make magnetite. Oh, those are magnesite. This is pin shirt. I'm currently out of shirt. Alright, grav mesh is not currently an option without doing a bit more exploring. Honestly, I doubt the drones will be either, but let's see just how bad I am on those materials. Runes, okay, gemstones. Okay, I'm good on gemstones. Alright, so we do have different stats over for these ones here. So despite lapis lazuli being the best color, it apparently has the worst stats. Unfair. Diamonds, need to find a few more drops for that. Reactive gas. Okay, Methane's pretty good, but I have to go back to the desert world to harvest more of that. Okay, then I will need chromium. Dotite. Okay, that's where it's coming in from. Conglomerate or gabbro. Neither which I have there. Alright. Unfortunately, so for now, I believe this is back to the desert. Helps if I'm hitting G and not H. That is definitely something, just kind of the scanning between screen space to world space. Just the ray tracing from there to actually be able to tell what you're pointing at does need some touch up. Finally, there we go. Yeah, Mother Shark is still flying around. Run, Wilson. There you go. Okay, that was a bug they're aware of. Good to know. I can't imagine that they aren't aware of it at this point. Okay. Pyromesis. There we go. Not sure if different body type or just very puffy jacket. Given that skirt, I'm gonna say different body type. Alright. So... oh, that's also depositing. I want prospecting. Totally different. Oh, and conglomerate's one of the things I needed here. Yeah, they do change your body type and clothes every time you zone to test out the different models and clothing combinations. Yeah, I did mention that I knew about that one already there, Chaos. It was earlier, you probably weren't in just yet. Only that little chunk, huh? Okay, nice to see that that actually works better than over No Man's Sky. Yeah, you had a long ways to go. A whole bunch of stuff you're doing today. Nap is perfectly alright. No, I mean, no, you were supposed to be watching my stream the instant it started. But you were sleeping. Bah. No. Not gonna be like that. Yeah. Found several million conglomerate on the map. And I just... This is not the desert world. Okay. Oh boy, this again. Okay, all happening over there. And what Grinchnitude is going on here, huh? And if you're going with the humbug, that's totally different holiday ruiner. That's Scrooge. Let's chill out here till the bombardment stops. Well, that's something that's over there. Yeah, maybe rather than hang out, I'm just going to go check this out instead. I'm pretty sure it's safe. And then in about 3 seconds... Nope, karma didn't hit me. That was buried in here. Yeah, it must be a cave inside this. 20 minutes of that hail. Okay, that's gonna be a while. Yeah, Chaos, and yet getting hit by an asteroid again would be kind of funny. It's also already been done. Can't just keep doing the same bit over and over. It gets stale. Yeah, well, it wasn't a big one falling. It was a whole bunch of small ones. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Suddenly ominously dark. Okay, it's just nighttime. And it occurs to me that I'm probably actually going about this the very slow way. Take a look at that recipe again. Okay, drone. What? Chromium. So I get chromium from peridotite. So I can get it from conglomerate or gabbro. But given that it's an ore, there should be some in the world already. And this is where... For the heck of it. Okay. None nearby, but there is gravium deposits somewhere on this map. That's a decent amount. I wonder how deep I'm gonna have to go. And also no current timer for showing how long scan takes to activate. That little click. So you can tell this game is going to be great for the easily distracted. I'm now going on a completely different project, and now I get to deal with a whole bunch of angry critters. I need methane anyway. Energy costs are 0, but Omni Blaster energy is still going down. Well, I think they got me enough methane for what I needed. Oh yeah, definitely good there. Okay, yeah, peridotite. Okay, let's try and get back on track with that. So not here. Terraformer. Prospect. Tempted to go look for diamonds, but those are probably going to be fairly rare as well. Let's get the easy stuff first. Apparently it means going in a giant loop. Okay. What do I get the feeling I've got to say it before I can actually scan for it? That's probably the way it works. Well, no, because I just saw obsidian now for the first time, but I had the option to look for it before. So now I have no idea where I actually saw it. It was somewhere around in here. That's just coal and peat. Okay, some pumice. Manganese. Okay, from overheated obsidian. Moment again here. Alright, back again. Part 1, allergies are such wonderful things. Part 2, good thing I don't have hand tracking working yet. Suffice to say that this room is currently far too hot. You still need to wake up, just got some ice cream on the first scoop, I blew on it like it was hot. Well, you know, don't want to get frostburn on your mouth there, that's awful. Okay, let's actually just make some of this. I can't make. That alt tab definitely messed things up a bit here. So, let's go ahead, drop it for a second, bring it back up again. Alright. Down a bit, let's try this again. GameStop's room temperature immediately drops like 5 degrees. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Load terrain. Okay, brought me in the same place here. Ah, good. This outfit again. I just like it better than that puffy jacket. Now, let's try... see if I can actually craft this again now. Okay, this recipe just does not want to work. My tab key is now broken. Okay, no, not broken. It's just you have to have the tool out to be able to change modes. False alarm. Okay, so just can't prospect for certain higher grade materials. Alright, well, we got... no. There we go. Okay, no Gabbro nearby, but there's a whole lot of it around. Changed my Y-axis back, so it's just not saving in that setting. Avoid the doom bug. Okay. So there is the thing about... on the one hand, there's something we said for going out and finding the stuff. On the other... I was about to say, well, I think I'm just going to go terraform some, but it's on the gripping hand, I just want to shoot these guys right now. Yep, a few more than expected. Fighting these guys is much easier than fighting those midges. Oh. Yeah, stay all clustered up around that bomb. Oh yeah, that was some extreme homing over there. Okay, now that I know that they actually spawn there, let's go over this way. Alright, cannot currently harvest ice. Probably just as well, given you can't do much with water at the moment, so that would make things kind of weird. Interesting, but kind of weird. Okay, I just want to flatten this briefly, and that is nowhere near flattened at all. So I am working from peat. Peat and sandy dirt. Okay, toggle any of the resources that can be found in that world. Okay, so in that case, the reason that it wasn't showing those is just that they weren't there naturally, so that would make sense then. Alright. Flowchart. So I want Gabbro. So if I turn stuff into sand, heat it, then erode it. If I'm reading that right. No, so Gabbro erode turns into sand. Huh. Gabbro may just not have a path to get Gabbro. Which, I mean, is fair. Okay, so it's not anything into anything then, because looks like Pete's only option is to turn into coal. Just got lucky with some of the transformations I needed before then. Can turn just about anything into conglomerate, though, which, given the name, is kind of makes sense. A good way to practice your dodge, duck, dive, and doge. We don't want any doge. Okay. I can Gabbro. You know what? Let's just go dump it out. That's a very good spot. If that recipe worked, it would be great to be getting all this conglomerate. Unfortunately. And so you can... You'd think if you convert it into that resource, then that resource should be available in the same place where that material spawns at. But... And yes, I realize that I am neglecting to do that whole personal beacon thing that I was thinking about doing just to make sure I don't lose access to the mining tunnel. So, well, that's handy. Let's just get some more Ranger XP just so I can do the local beacons. That's a lot of angry bugs. Clearly moving away from a target there. Okay, so it is directional based off where you're looking. And off the path because this looks interesting. Too far. Is that static or is that the... Oh, let's go. Shark on ice. Okay, maybe not. Ow. That may have been a little too ambitious. Okay, this time the beacon works. Friction effects on ice. So, yeah, so they just last until you touch terrain again. Cross half the map here. Probably more than. Run through that just in case. Alright, definitely wanted full stamina for this. So since that cloud there is rather mean, you come in fast, grab, and get out right away. Oh, and then it turns back into water as I'm in the middle of all that. Was going to look cool, but then it wasn't. Well, I can go over here now. That sounds like... Okay, so that crackly sound was just the ice rather than any sort of radio, which is kind of what it sounded like initially. Yay, quartz. So, TLDR review of the game. If you like being able to just jump between a million things at once, this is definitely the game for it. Oh, there we go. A little bit of catching up here. Idea of what you want to do in the game yet as a profession? No, I mean, kind of brought up before on there that I definitely prefer going kind of the gatherer crafter type on there. So no, I've gotten a bit of a hang on it there. The combat is a bit more on the entertaining side. I don't know, I'll probably wind up doing a bit of everything. I mean, especially since the XP is kind of more per category rather than just raw levels in and of themselves. So there's really no penalty for going in all the directions on there. It's just... oh boy, aliens. Sounds like they're dropping near here. I was saying that there's no real penalty for going in multiple directions other than just time spent in and of itself. Ah, there they are. Like, if you can go like... yep, that was loud. Like, if you go max level over in combat, it's not really going to be a problem for you... that guy explode. To then switch into mining from level 0, whereas if you're in something with, like, a single level, it would then take forever to get the skill points necessary to do anything in mining. Whereas here, since it's split up by tree, going with... you're still starting from the same point a basic beginning miner would who just started the game, so there's no... if anything, it might actually be easier because, well, you'd have, for example, the guns necessary to fight off a giant group like this, and then get back to work. Whatever lit that tree on fire, it wasn't me. Oh boy, uranium. Don't think I have any use for it at the moment here, but I'm sure it'll come in handy sometime. Okay, so Invader is basically just some random type of creature then. Guess the Invader tag put... nope, same guys, they just look different. Oh, they look like giant fish for a moment on there. Just from its silhouette. Oh, it was the mobs you were fighting lit the tree on fire. Since you started the fight with them, it was your fault. No, I completely disagree with that. Clearly, it was a mob hit that was taken out on this tree. I was just in the area. I'm an innocent bystander in all this, merely defending myself. See, I didn't even fire the first shot. The charge direct hit feels like it should do a bit more than that. Ow. But yeah, full charge 160. 2 dots 84. 101. 116. And let's stop tracking that in the middle of a fight. Okay, so full charge is about 3 times as powerful. No, if it was a hand shot first thing, then I'd claim the first shot for myself. This is the conservationists can't get mad at me, it's not my fault thing. Now, the Harry Dresden, Chicago was on fire and it was not my fault. Though in Harry's case, it always is. Yeah, basic climbing, maybe not the best when surrounded by enemies. Okay, that's what it was. R. Little angry marker at the edge of the screen there. Time to go a different direction. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure the Gunk Enforcement Arm is tenacious and vicious. Don't want to get on their bad side. Especially after everything I've already done. Okay, so what I think I was doing was I did the exploration so I could get the waypoint marker. Now there's something making noise, so I gotta find what that is. And as a result, I'm mining stuff that is currently completely useless for my purposes. No, that's okay. Oh, schist. Okay, so the train slowly reformed its way around there. Still hear it. Nope. Ah. Well, maybe it was that fellow. Oh, that seemed explosive. That didn't look like it should have been conglomerate. Ah, because that is diamond. If this guy doesn't want it, I will take it. A little more. Good enough. Yeah, I think you only need 10. 15. Okay, back again. Twelve and a half. 12.7. 12.8. I think this deposit's just about dry. 13. I'll put more. Oh, we got some more up there even. I'll put away all that stuff. There we go. Let's not be directly underneath when I'm planning to mine here. Avoid it. Okay. Much better deposit. There we go. No need to take all of it. There is the main area. Alright, get all that saved, and now spend all those points. Yeah, Ranger. And I already had local waypoint. There we go then. Well, in that case, let's bump my camp size up. Not that I've actually used it at all yet. Survey map's going to take a while, but that could be handy eventually. I mean... And I think I'll want shield. I'll grab the helix. Now that I've experienced all aspect of mining, what are your thoughts on it? It's kind of empty at the moment here. Let me think. Thoughts on the mining system? Definitely could use some refinement, not to make a pun. And they do say that they're going to be expanding out how the prospecting goes on there, and that I think will be handy, like to try and get a better idea of where some of those things are. Because I mean, like with the Gabbro, for example, it says there's like millions of units on it there, so it's put around somewhere. Nice to get some sort of maybe a sounding system or something that doesn't like get you, okay, here's where a patch is, but gets you okay, there's a patch somewhere within like these 20 degrees, for example. But it doesn't give you a distance heading. So then, like, so you go in one spot, you do your survey on it, note the direction, go over to another spot, do your survey, note that direction, and then make you have to do some triangulation to kind of find out, okay, so I know it's going to be in this region. And then when you get there, then you do that small scale scan to actually see, okay, here's where it actually is. Like something like that, I think would be pretty nice. Because otherwise, it's a whole lot of run around the map at random, spamming your ping tool to see, oh, have I walked across any yet? When it might not be anywhere near the surface at all. You have to do it several layers down below. But the only way to figure that out without going to an external resource is basically by blind luck. Which isn't, I mean, it can make for some interesting moments, but if you're focused on trying to do something, relying on effectively RNG to be able to pull it off is, for me at least, it's not entertaining. Now, I know that there are several gamblers, especially even just among my friend group, who do enjoy RNG all the time. But that's... I acknowledge that chance and luck are effectively things that happen. I still just prefer an ordered universe in general. Still unpredictable because of a lack of complete knowledge, but there should be ways to then go through and figure out what the prediction is. Just fits my mindset better. And I think I realized why that recipe didn't work. Because, duh, you have to be at a crafting station to use the recipes. So that was a lot of stuff that I did not necessarily need to do. Bulk crafting option would be nice. Oh, I thought chromium would have better stats than that. That's the entire reason I went looking for it. Okay, so I need tier 3 metal, chromium, gemstone, diamond, reactive gas, methane. Give me drone. A9, A9, 72. I'm going to assume those are good. Now while I'm here, reflection shield. Anti-gravium, of course. Need that for all the really good stuff, it appears. Plastic I've got. Gemstone. Yeah, I can go second grade over on that there if I need to. Anti-gravium, that's the tricky part. Okay. Yeah, so got enough chromium for the grav mesh still. Give that for there. I mean, okay, yeah, and only 4 slots. My view just froze. Okay, it was the right mouse apparently somehow got... That was odd. Straight down into someone's tunnels. Ugh. Okay, anyone with motion sickness, I apologize. So, drones appear to not play nice with the camera, which is unfortunate. It's stylistically, that seems kind of neat. So another note regarding mining. Okay, this looks like one material. This looks like a different material. This looks like a third material. Yet they are all conglomerate according to this. Let's see. That's chert. That's lead. This is the actual conglomerate. So, bug. Don't they even need any of this? Freedom. Alright, so let's stay out of the tunnels. Find a group and pick a fight just so I can test these drones out. I just want to see if it continues to have problems with the camera even when I'm out in fairly clear terrain. I know there were guys out in this area previously. Alright. Guy building. Very sudden dawn. Oh, that looks neat. Those somewhat less so. Wow. Better rate of fire. Okay, so the boomerang was send them all out and bring them back, rather than just going normally. And once more, it all freezes. So when the camera isn't freaking out, I do like the drones better. This is the terrain freaking out. That is something completely different. Helium-powered fish. Yep. Where's my load? Do I actually have a path to get through to this thing now? Sort of. Okay, so when dealing with the fish, don't stop. Ever. And dead. Okay, yeah, so definitely, all told, you like drones better than the blaster. Though from the name, was expecting them to be somewhat more like semi-autonomous. Like maybe if you're going like full combat build, like pop out drones to be kind of act as secondaries, then to like change to your blaster or whatever else you want for your primary. No, does not look like they'd be combining things like that though. Otherwise, like, oh, pop the drones, change to another tool. Nope, drones go away. So, not likely, I'd imagine. Okay, and let's just blast straight through here. Ah, just wait, they have more planned for drones? Okay, that's good to hear. I imagine you want to do a rigger build. Am I wrong? Yeah. Gate Bismuth. No. I mean, on the one hand, this does look like a very neat layout. On the other, Gate and Bismuth could be handy. So do I destroy the natural formation for my own profit, or do I let it be? Or, alternate option. Okay, alternate option 1 is I fall to my death. Alternate option 2 is I just hold this thing out. So I did a ping earlier, and it did say that there is anti-gravium. Let's deposit. Oh. Okay, so it just spawns near these things, huh? Oh, thank you for that tip. I have to hope I actually get enough out of this. So it's just these sorts of weird formations that tends to go in and around. Ah, for this planet. Okay, so the really good goodies are each planet has kind of its own hotspots that give a hint as to where it is. Okay, that's good to know. I wonder if it's just per terrain type or separate per planet with that terrain type. Oh, it would definitely explain why there's so many critters nearby. Oh, speaking of what I was talking about triangulation earlier, let's see. Back up to here. Okay, yeah, that's a ways down. Tunneling will go, and quartz does not mine up easily. Takes some time. So hopefully that means that's going to be somewhat more stable, so it's not as likely to collapse. Okay, I was approaching the edge of my range there. Well, more than just that. There it goes. Okay, so that was water up above freezing, so it's a good thing I wasn't quite there. Otherwise, I'd probably be getting ejected from this hole, if not just insta-gibbed. Yay! Finally hit the vein. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, just black. Alright, get some light on, get some blue veins. Okay, it looks kind of neat. Hmm. So for digging down and seeing it all warp out around you there, or? And also good Seribot. Get rid of that view counselor guy. They think they're clever, but Seribot's better. Alright, it's 10 anti-gravium. I had a couple things I needed it for, so I think my gold target number here is about 25. See if we've got that much in all this. But if I can at least get the grav mesh, I can go exploring that one canyon with, or that one planet with the giant canyons. Okay, yeah, definitely the passive just, okay, find a glowy, click on it before anyone else does. That is honestly the weakest form of resource gathering. I mean, like, World of Warcraft, that's just super, super basic there. Now, I will say, okay, like Final Fantasy XIV does do a similar thing, but in there, it's effectively they turn into a mini game, so it's a bit better, where it's, okay, you have this many tries, you've got these skills, you can do this, this, and this to try and change your chances for what happens. There's at least a little more involvement than just find node, click button, wait. Yeah, you have to worry about the surrounding terrain a lot more when mining like this. Okay, so... Alright, so that's 25. Let's see if that actually is all that I need. So let's just confirm. Grav mesh is 10. We're good there. Oh, exotic rock. I went for the fortress seal. Let's have that. Anti-gravium. Okay, so 20 is the target number. That and in the future, underground caves and facilities with aggressive mobs. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just because you've got something nice in the ground doesn't mean someone else may not have found it first and may want to keep it for themselves. Okay, and just as well they had all this quartz. And then plastic's just plastic. Okay. Alright, now to get out of here. And get past all the angry wildlife. Maybe by not running directly through them. I'm underwater. I'm a submarine. You can't see me. There, see? No grav mesh. I do recall seeing that from the patch notes that you don't start with one anymore. Actually, no, I don't think it was even patch notes for this version. That was something that you said that people were running into like an update or two ago. Like, why can't we do this anymore? I think it was stuff like that. Yeah, probably, but grapples are just as good for that. Ah, so apparently the Roach Hive and the main base are all one and the same at the moment. Well, if I die, my stuff will be nearby. Yay. I got all these other guys to deal with. Okay, recharge faster. Okay, so XP might be shared based off what you've accomplished, but loot drops are first come, first serve. Good to know. Reflection shield. I was gonna go. Quartz. Anti-gravium. Plastic build. And then grav mesh. Gravium. Spare chromium. Okay, good stats on that one. Okay, so shields, grapple, mesh. I believe I can fly. Whoops. Splat. Oh, what did you forget to tell me about it? All right, looks like it's momentum conservation, not just straight one or the other. If you want to use it to break your fall, you gotta start early. I mean, I see my stamina going down. I see the effect around the character. What else am I supposed to see? Yeah, I kind of noticed rather fast there that, oh yeah, stamina is going down. Yeah, so now we should really be able to get the tribe-style skiing in play. There it is. Whee! Okay, feather that. So I had gathered, yes. 0 stamina equals 0 grav mesh. Okay, so shield is not a toggle, it's a... turned on, and then apparently you can't turn it off again afterwards, despite the fact that it's kind of an eyesore right now. Hmm. Okay, there it goes. There's Portal. Yes, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Kinda had that out. It's fun to do a bit every now and then. Okay, so that right, white. You know, it was the white one that had the canyons. Eee. Hope that is a bug that they're able to figure out and fix quickly, though, 'cause that is... with portals especially. Not sure if you can hear it from your side over there. No. Looks like noise cancellation is preventing that. Hammering the key, it does not want to work. Yeah, it is pre-alpha. Two game reboots isn't terrible. And from that splash image, in just a tiny little play, but I keep expecting there to be like a loading bar, and then it moves to something else. Good old sternum popping stretch. And works first try, so. So in that case, it was probably the portal stops working bug you mentioned last time. And puffy jacket days. Y-axis again. Now I can finally get to the bottom without dying. But you thought I wasn't going to hit it. Well, it would have been funny. I've already done that bit once today. Unlike a certain someone else who just cannot manage his jetpack. This is interesting. See what it is. Turquoise. The turquoise is nice. Let's grab that. May need to tweak the curves on this model here, because you see this here, got me tilting all the way back. It's just me looking at the top edge of my monitor. That's me looking at the bottom edge. That's looking at the keyboard. Definitely need to tighten those up a bit. And having exaggerated ranges can be useful for some things, but not so much for the head movement. Oh, and I also believe I solved the problem with the vanishing top. Mostly due to the fact that I'm just not using a red background anymore. I'm actually gotten back to basic green. So, you know, chroma keying that out doesn't cause any problems at the moment. Turquoise and agate, nice. A bunch of different materials right in that one little node. This seems like the music is tied over to the mining beam a little bit on there. I know some of that's just from the sound effect. I swear it seems like the music peaks when I'm using it and then drifts off when I'm not. Which mainly could be an interesting effect. It's just weird that it'd be tied to the mining beam of all things. of course, even more turquoise up there, but I've already yoinked one seam of it. I don't need more. Okay, and then hang on here for a minute. Alright. So, I wonder what I should do next. I mean, yeah, there was the tree thing, but working with the trees isn't terribly interesting to me at the moment. Yeah, I mean, now that I've got better mobility, why not just go see... Oh, actually, we got everything on fire down here. Let's check this out. Okay, I guess guys just burning stuff to burn it. Yeah, I mean, I could. First, I have to find just the right spot, though. There we go. Yeah, this person is not going to be on the ecologist Christmas tree list. Here it is. Okay, I need a good chunk more to get that survey map. I could definitely get civil engineering. I'd have to get all these. Lots of little audio cues they sneak in. Oh, look, anti-gravity. I'm just sitting out here on the surface. Must have been a meteor strike that just didn't get fully cleaned up. Yeah, just scraps that are left anyway. Okay, before I do that, I'm going to see here. What happens if I bury it? Okay. They just pop it up to the top of the surface. Good to know they're taking that into account. Alright, now let's pick a fight here. Test out my shield. Okay, that wasn't a very fair fight. Even without the shield being a thing. Oh, nice little island and lake here. Oh, green rabbit. Okay, not strictly a rabbit, but it's close enough to a rabbit. Oh, angry kitties. Just because I'm flying does not mean I'm a bird. I mean, yeah, I could use them for a fight, but I'm not going to fight cats. Okay, let's... I may have overheard something about certain bunnies. Oh, we did line first. Alright, then back to the bunny season. Jackalopes are what's supposed to cause it. I think I saw some previously. No idea where, though. And look at this mess. No, I actually want to pull it down. There we go. I don't even have anything I want to build that needs it, but it's just... I'm staying out in the middle of nowhere. May as well clean it up. So for mining, it definitely looks like... So it cares about where the beam hits. And it tries to make that aim based off where the cursor is going, but it's not always guaranteed. Even in over-the-shoulder mode. You've got that little offset between where the character is holding it at the end of the barrel and then the line that you have from the camera to the crosshairs. Not 100% matchup. Not at certain angles, anyway. There we go. Tiny little nodes. First we get the gravium and a bunch of the peat around it. I'm just about done here. A little speck and... Okay. Oh. All that's left is peat. Let's dump some gravel in to get it kind of just filled in. This stuff's loose enough that it kind of auto smooths, so that's nice. But it doesn't quite match the rest of the terrain, though it does a decent job of blending. Okay, good enough there. Anyway, so now that we've separated the gravium from the peat, we repeat. Later on, they'll add in where gravel will turn into peat and other resources over time. Okay, so effectively it just kind of blends into whatever the local resource map has on the area. Oh, so it could actually make mining somewhat semi-renewable then. So mine a whole bunch of stuff out there, make sure to drop the gravel off in the same area again. It won't be a complete replacement because it means you get less gravel verts than what you mine out. But you can stretch out a supply a bit longer that way, so that's nice. First thing we could also do is go mine something that you don't particularly care about elsewhere, fill up, then haul all of that back over to your really good spot and refill it that way. Nice. Plus meteors dropping off resources, yeah. That's not the sort of thing you can really count on, though. And if you want meteor resources, that's what space harvesting is for. Yeah, that kind of looks like it was a burial mound now. That's fine. Yeah, true. Hold on. Whoa, here's it. Okay, no one even bothered trying to harvest this fall. It's way out in the corner and no one noticed. Well, someone noticed. Gimme. Yeah, this is definitely a haul. Oh, what I should have done was take a reading of how much anti-gravium there was around before I started harvesting, and then do a reading after. Yeah, look if there's still some pretty significant deposits even besides this. Hmm. There's one embedded in the side of the mountain over there, too. Alright, that must be a bad angle, because that just did not want to go. Probably that shrub in the way. Yep, that's what was doing it. Rock blocked by a plant. Okay, Mother Shark is completely on the other side of the zone. Not a concern right now, at least. And then watch Dev's listening and then decides to just teleport her all the way over here. Never mind Chaos going into the Discord right now and telling them to do that. And don't deny it, you absolutely would. Yes, first you gotta shave the deposit. Then you can harvest it. I guess you gotta go back and get a screenshot of that then. Honestly, they put in a mechanic just for catching the glowy little butterflies. That's gonna keep people busy for hours on end. All the spots where I'd really want to deposit it. There we go. That's a good place. Alright, so I'm at almost 49 anti-gravium. Far more than I need. But hey, I can see I've got it. So want a smooth tool, though. Some of these bumps are bugging me so bad. Okay, I'll just leave, and that way they can't bother me anymore. And skating on thick ice. Okay. For a distance, that looked like a lawn gnome. I swear. Get some stamina back. Yeah, one more fight before we go. Helps to have the weapon out first. Okay, that did not count as a fight. Oh, neon. Oh, there's mineralogy tree capped out, at least for this build. It's been a fairly busy 3 hours here, just about. Visited, let's see. Alright, can't count desert because I started there. Yeah, so visited normal terrain, hills. There was a third one on there, I know. All of a sudden I can't remember it. And the beachy one, whatever that one was. And of course, deep space. Had a few events. Someone participated in a boss fight. Got my combat loadout finished. Got my flying gear on there. Yeah, I'd say fairly productive. Nah, not a terribly useful use of his time here. As this... Yeah, 7:56. I think this is where I'm going to call it here tonight. Just pop out into space. Now that I've seen more of the game with this playthrough, what do I think of it? I mean, it kind of reaffirms a good amount of before on there. I would say I'd like to see more biomes on each planet. Because right now it's kind of very Star Wars, like planet of a single biome, which also kind of similar sort of thing happened over in No Man's Sky. I think they improved that a little bit now. But it definitely makes the worlds feel a lot more samey when, like, in and of itself on there. Kind of, like, there's those individual things that are, yeah, they're kind of neat. But then, okay, so they're actually part of where the special resources spawn as well. So that's, in a way, that almost takes away the specialness from it. Because then it's okay, you're not looking for them because they're neat necessarily. You're looking for them because you know there's a reward just for finding them if you dig down underneath them. On the other hand, that's useful for finding rare resources, but it kind of feels like that could be more of like a mechanic inside the prospecting side of things. And I'm still gonna say it does seem like a nice game. And I'm sure when it's live, there's going to be a lot more variation on it. Because, I mean, pre-alpha, there's just like a fraction of the different things inside. So the view I'm getting now of, okay, it's feeling like everything's kind of very compressed. I know that's not what it's going to feel like when it goes live. Oh, we'll not know what planet will have the rare resource until you visit it, though. Well, there is that thing over there with the prospecting menu once you get inside the terraformer where it's, okay, just scan through, see what all is in there. Like, okay, ba-boom, ba-boom. Well, that's when I'm actually on the prospecting. I know that these are all things I can find over in here. Salt in space. Yeah, rare material in this case. You can see that if you're just going to do a quick speed run on it, it's just, okay, load in. And then you can just scan through and see what all's available. Which also useful, to be fair. Yeah, quality of the resource unknown until you harvest it. Yeah, once they have that actually in, that is going to definitely make it more involved with resource hunting. Which I think will help out more. Okay, one last thing to check out over here. I just want to see, I'm actually building down in here, or is this just what's left over? Okay. I guess there were some impacts and people just poured them out rather than grabbing all of them. But anyway, that now puts us at 8:01 Pacific time. So that is the 3 hours I was planning for that. Room is fairly overheated, and I am also very hungry. So, I have been and continue to be Xavi Azure. This has been Stars Reach, and currently looks good for being able to do the tabletop game tomorrow. Cross our fingers. Hopefully the curse gets broken this week. We'll see what happens. Got the entire day off, so that should help. So ideally, be here tomorrow. That'll be 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Next time after that, hopefully Saturday for development. We got some art revisions I want to do over onto the model here. Maybe do some work over as far as stream overlays are concerned. We'll see what happens. And otherwise, I will definitely be back Tuesday, if nothing else, where we will be continuing Sulaco. So, thanks again for coming by. Have a great evening. See you all next time. And just a quick sneaky little raid right here at the end. Head over to Sugar Chapeau. I haven't raided over to that side yet. Be nice. Have fun.